Welcome back to Scandinavian Cichlids. Today we're going to talk about how to breed Malawi Cichlids. And one of the most important thing, filtration for your aquarium. So, when it comes to breeding Malawi Cichlids, there's a few aspects that I like to mention at first. Of course, it's good to have an aquarium where you can have your fish, and of course, to have some fish to breed. An aquarium size is depending on the species you would like to keep. For Mbuna, I would recommend anything from 250 liters up to 1,000 liters, depending on species and their behavior and the group size and everything. For a Haplochromia species, I would never go under 500 liters, and I would preferably have an aquarium longer than 150 centimeters. Something 200 centimeter plus would be very good for a Haplochromia species. My first recommendation is actually to have a species-only aquarium. And this is for a quite simple reason. Malawi cichlids, even though they are very rough, are actually quite a delicate fish, especially when it comes to wild caught or F1, but mainly wild caught. So by having a species-only aquarium, the parameters will be much better for your fish to breed. So you have decided what species you would like to keep in your aquarium. If you decided to go for Pseudotropheus interruptus in this case, I would prefer to focus on how many males you have in the group. More commonly, you focus on, I want to have 20 females and 1 male because I want to get a lot of fry. But this can actually not be the best solution for your fish. And you might wonder, why isn't this the best solution? I would like to have many females because I want many fry, and this was a video about how to reproduce your fish and get as many fry as possible. And that is correct, but more important is that your fish are having a good time in your aquarium. And by keeping 1 male and 20 females, it can for sure work, but most likely the male won't have time for all of his females. So why I would like to keep multiple males in an aquarium is that there's always a male ready to breed with the females. Because a male can breed with a number of females in an aquarium, also in Lake Malawi. But the females actually like when the males have some competitions, because it's genetics. They want to breed with the male that they think have the best genetics. So she will like to see the males have a competition, and then she prefers to breed with the most dominant and the strongest male. So keep multiple males so that the female always have a male to breed with, but also for the males to have fights with each other. Because if you have 10 males in an aquarium, the males will focus on each other and having a fight about dominance, and they will leave the females alone. If you only have 1 male and 20 females, he will start to punish his females and chase them around the aquarium because he wants to show his dominance. But if you instead have 10 or more males, he will constantly be focusing on keeping the other males away from his territory, and he will leave the females alone, which gives them a better time. They can stay calm, they can focus on eat and get in perfect condition for breeding. I say that you should keep many males, but how many males is actually good to have in your aquarium? And overall, how many fish shall I keep in my aquarium? So when it comes to Mbunas, I preferably keep them in an aquarium that's 250 liters or above. And after that, I, as a good estimation, take 1 centimeter fish per liter of water. So, in a 250 liters aquarium, you can have 250 centimeters of fish, roughly. By that, I don't mean you can have a 250 centimeter fish, of course, in a 250 liters aquarium. And neither a fish that's 30 centimeters or something like that. So it's a good measurement to give you a little bit of an estimation of how many fish you can keep. So in 250 liters, I would keep fish that are 7, 8, maybe even 9 centimeters. And then I would keep 20 to 25 of them. So this will give you, as I said, an estimation, but it's not written in stone how many fish you can have. That in a 500 liters aquarium, you can keep 500 centimeters of fish, and so on and so on. And still in a 500 liters aquarium, I would keep fish that will be maximum 15 centimeters as most, because I also think it looks quite good to not have too big fish in a small aquarium. And of course, a bigger fish needs more space to swim, of course. So now you have decided what species to keep, and you have decided what aquarium you will keep them in. The next big thing, as always with aquarium, filtration. And a good filtration will save you a lot of headache, a lot of problems, and will give you super nice fish. So the bigger the filter, the better. So, as I said, you would like to have as big filter volume as possible in your aquarium. This is your traditional internal filter. And when we take a closer look at it, it doesn't have that much filter volume. So what I have in my breeding aquariums is something called filter foam. And we have a big piece of filter foam on the short side of the aquarium. This is 10 centimeters thick, which will create a very big filter volume in the aquarium. So how do we get the water from the aquarium through the filter and back? Well, we take some plastic pipe, and what we do is that we connect it to an air pump. So the air pump will bring water together with the air up and into the aquarium. So we place this on the back side, which means that the water will go through the filter, which removes all particles, and then as it passes through the filter foam, all the good bacteria will remove the bad nutrients from your fish. So the water will go through the filter, up and back, and this will create, in my opinion, the perfect filtration for your Malawi cichlids. And regarding the good bacteria, you need to have them start to reproduce themselves. And by doing so, you need to add a fish or something to the aquarium that will create some poop so that they have something to eat, because that's what they will do with all the bad nutrients from your fish. So if you have an already established aquarium, take a piece of filter foam from that aquarium or an already established filter and put into the new aquarium. Then you will have plenty of good bacteria already ready to break down the bad nutrients from your new fish. If you don't have this, ask a fish buddy if he has some extra filtration that's already up and running that you can borrow or use for the first couple of months before your aquarium is ready for fish. If you do it this way, you can add fish almost immediately to your new aquarium. You don't have to wait a week or something before you add the fish, because if you don't have any good bacteria or bad nutrients in the aquarium, your aquarium will be perfectly ungood for fish or bad, because nothing will happen. There's nothing to have start the circle of life, of good bacteria, bad bacteria, poop or whatever. You need to add something that the good bacteria can break down before they start to reproduce. Now you have decided what fish to keep, in what aquarium, you got some filtration, and you got the good bacteria. Which means now you need to have fish that are mature. Because before they're mature, they can't breed. So you need to have fish that are ready to breed before something actually can happen. And this is very different depending on what kind of species you have and everything. So you have decided species, decided what aquarium, you have good filtration, good bacteria, and mature fish. Now you need to think about how you have scaped your aquarium, because this is also an important factor. You can either have a lot of territories or no territories. I prefer, as I mentioned earlier, to have a lot of males and therefore also a lot of territories. This is only what has been working best for me. The fish has a lot of hiding spaces. They tend to feel more secure. So I prefer to have a lot of rocks, but place them in a good way so that you think that it looks good, and they are also easy to remove from the aquarium. Because when your fish have started to breed, you would like to collect the fry, and then you would prefer to have it easy to catch the fish or the holding females. So now you have most of the important things in order to breed your fish. Another good thing is fish food, because you need to keep the fish in good condition. So feed them with good quality food and in small amounts multiple times a day. This will avoid that they will become real big and bulky. Temperature is another important thing for your Malawi cichlids. I prefer to have something around 25 to 26 Celsius. That's when the fish tend to breathe the most for me. And this is quite logical, because in Lake Malawi, when I have been there, we have a temperature of 26, 27 and 28 degrees Celsius. Now you have everything in order for your fish to breed. But maybe it has been 6 months and no spawn so far. What can you do? Well, here's my 3 best tips to get your fish to breed, even though everything else seems to be perfect. The first thing would actually be to make a slightly colder water change. And this is to recreate the rain period. And it can help your fish to breed, because it happens something new in the aquarium. Another good thing can be to add some bicarbonate to your aquarium. This will make the water harder, and our Malawi cichlids really enjoy the hard water. A good thing can be to make a water change before you add some bicarbonate. Last thing can actually be to rescape your aquarium, move the fish to another aquarium, or switch aquarium for 2 species. By doing so, you create totally new surroundings for them, which will make them willing to impress their females again and take new territories, so there will be a new dynamic in the group. And this can actually sometimes make them breed again, or start to breed. And that's all from the ultimate guide on how to breed your Malawi cichlids. But remember, it can be very individual, and this is just what has been working good for me. And now I would actually like to hear something from you. So if you got any good tips or inspiration on how to get your Malawi cichlids to breed, please write it down in the comment section below and share with other enthusiasts of this hobby. With that said, please like this video if you think it was good. Subscribe on the channel if you haven't done it already, and we will see you in our next video. Enjoy your cichlid, guys.